Okay, so you've got this big interview coming up,
Mm-hmm.
a fluid power technician role.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into exactly what you need to know to ace it.
Absolutely.
We've got your pre-interview jitters covered.
It's not just about knowing the material, right? It's about showing them you can apply it.
Yeah.
We'll unpack some of the most common interview questions and how to approach them. But more importantly, why those questions even matter to the hiring manager.
Let's jump right in
Okay.
with a question that pops up in almost every interview.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to be a fluid power technician?
Right.
Seems simple,
Yeah.
but it's your chance to make a killer first impression.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You really got to nail this one. They're not just looking for, like, a list of job duties, you know?
Yeah.
They want to hear what gets you excited about this field.
Yeah.
Did a specific project spark your interest?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just fascinated by the power of hydraulics in everyday life?
Right.
Like, this is your moment to tell your story.
Okay, let me play the interviewer for a second.
Okay.
Let's say you're talking about a project that sparked your interest.
Mm-hmm.
What if they follow up with, tell me more about that project?
Right.
What was your role and what was the outcome?
Sure.
How do you make sure you're hitting the right notes there?
Preparation is key, right?
Yeah.
Before the interview, think back on your experiences and identify a project that truly showcases your skills and your passion. When you're describing it, focus on the details that demonstrate your problem-solving abilities, your technical know-how, and any initiative you took. And don't forget to mention the positive results, whether it was a successful repair, an innovative solution, or even a lesson learned from a challenging situation.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a more technical question. How do you approach troubleshooting a hydraulic system?
Okay.
I bet they're looking for a clear, organized thought process here.
Yeah, you're right. It's not enough to just throw out a bunch of technical terms.
Mm-hmm.
Walk them through your process step by step.
Yeah.
Do you start by carefully observing the system, listening for any unusual noises?
Mm-hmm.
Do you then move on to checking pressure gauges and inspecting components for leaks? Maybe you have a go-to diagnostic tool you like to use. Whatever your approach, highlight your systematic thinking and ability to pinpoint the root cause of a problem.
That reminds me of something I read in that fluid power technician career guide we referenced.
Right.
I mentioned that employers really value technicians who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty and systematically diagnose a problem,
Yes.
rather than just jumping to conclusions.
100%, yeah. And to really demonstrate that proactive approach, you could even anticipate a follow-up question by saying something like, once I've identified the potential issue, I always double-check my findings using, and then mention a specific diagnostic tool or technique, just to be certain before making any adjustments.
That's such a good tip.
Yeah.
Speaking of being proactive, let's talk about question 3. What is your experience with fluid power components like pumps, valves, and actuators?
Okay.
This feels like a classic tell me what you know situation, right?
It might seem that way, but remember, it's not just about reciting definitions from a textbook.
Right.
They want to see how your knowledge translates into real-world application.
So instead of just saying, I know what a pump is,
Right.
it's more impactful to share a brief story.
Yes.
Like in my previous role, I diagnosed a faulty pressure relief valve that was causing inconsistent actuator movement. By replacing the valve and recalibrating the system, we were able to avoid costly downtime.
Perfect example.
Yeah?
Those real-world examples make your knowledge come alive and show the interviewer you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
And this is where a tool like RoleCatcher can be a game changer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze specific job descriptions to identify which skills are most important for that particular role.
Okay.
So if the job description emphasizes troubleshooting and problem solving,
You'll know to focus on those aspects when describing your experience with fluid power components. It's all about tailoring your answers to the specific job requirements.
Right.
Now, let's say they're really digging into your technical expertise with a question like, how do you ensure that fluid power systems are working correctly?
This feels like it goes beyond just fixing something when it breaks, doesn't it?
You're right on the money.
Yeah.
They're looking for your approach to preventative maintenance and quality control.
Okay.
Think about the steps you take to make sure a system is running smoothly.
Right.
Do you perform routine inspections for wear and tear? How do you go about pressure testing and fluid analysis? These details show you're not just reactive.
Right.
You're proactive in preventing problems before they even arise.
Right. It's about being one step ahead.
Exactly.
Okay. New scenario.
Okay.
The interviewer asks, what is your experience working with pneumatic systems?
Right.
But what if your background is primarily in hydraulics?
What's the best way to navigate that?
Honesty is always the best policy, right?
Yeah.
Don't try to oversell your experience.
Yeah.
Instead, acknowledge the difference while highlighting the transferable skills you bring to the table.
Oh.
You could say something like, while my primary experience is in hydraulics, I have a solid understanding of the fundamental principles of fluid power, which apply to both systems.
Right.
I'm eager to expand my knowledge of pneumatics, and I'm a fast learner.
That's a great way to frame it.
Yeah.
Showing you're adaptable and eager to learn.
Exactly.
It also reminds you of something else I came across in that career guide.
Right.
It emphasized the importance of continuous learning in this field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next question.
Okay.
Imagine the interviewer asks, how do you stay up to date with the latest fluid power technology and trends?
Okay.
How do you show them you're not stuck in your ways?
This isn't the time to be humble, right? It's about showcasing that you're actively seeking out new information and advancements in the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you attended any industry conferences or workshops recently?
Mm-hmm.
Do you subscribe to any trade publications or online forums?
Right.
Maybe you've even taken the initiative to learn a new software program relevant to fluid power design or analysis.
Right.
Sharing these examples demonstrates your commitment to professional development.
And I bet RoleCatcher can help tailor those answers too, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
By analyzing the job description, RoleCatcher can identify specific technologies or industry certifications mentioned by the company.
Mm-hmm.
This allows you to highlight any relevant experience or training you have in those areas,
Right.
giving you a real edge in the interview.
Okay, let's dive into the next question.
Okay.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a particularly challenging fluid power problem?
Right.
How do you choose the right story to tell here?
This is your opportunity to showcase your problem-solving skills in action. Choose a situation that was genuinely complex and required you to think critically and creatively to find a solution. When you're telling the story, use the STAR method.
Okay.
Describe the situation, the task you were assigned,
Right.
the action you took,
Right.
and the result of your efforts.
And don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty, right?
Don't, yeah.
The interviewer wants to hear how you approached the problem, the tools you used, and the steps you took to diagnose and fix the issue.
Exactly. And if there were any unexpected challenges or setbacks along the way, share those too.
Okay.
It shows you can adapt, think on your feet, and find solutions even when things get tough.
It's like telling a mini detective story, except the mystery involves hydraulics or pneumatics
Right.
instead of a missing clue.
Exactly.
Okay, let's say the interviewer throws you a curveball
Okay.
with a question like, how have you contributed to improving safety and reliability in fluid power systems?
That's a great question
Yeah.
because it goes beyond just fixing the immediate problem, right?
Right.
They want to see that you're thinking long-term about safety and efficiency.
Right.
This is your chance to highlight any times you've gone above and beyond.
Okay.
Did you implement a new maintenance checklist that reduced downtime? Or maybe you spotted a potential hazard and took steps to correct it,
Okay.
preventing a potential accident down the line?
So it's about being proactive and demonstrating a real sense of ownership over your work.
Yes.
And thinking about those situations in advance can really help you stand out in the interview.
Absolutely. Now, remember that career guide we mentioned?
Yeah.
It also talked about the importance of teamwork and communication skills.
Right.
So even if the question doesn't directly ask about it, find ways to weave those skills into your answers.
Right.
Did you train a colleague on a new safety procedure? Or maybe you had to explain a complex technical issue to a client in a way that was easy to understand?
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
It's about showing them you're not just a technical whiz,
Right.
but also a team player who can communicate effectively.
Exactly.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Let's say the interviewer asks, do you have any experience designing or modifying fluid power systems?
Okay.
What if you're just starting out
Mm-hmm.
and haven't had the opportunity to lead a design project yet?
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Not everyone will have extensive design experience, especially early in their career.
Right.
Instead of focusing on what you haven't done, highlight your willingness to learn and contribute.
Okay.
You could say something like, while I haven't had the chance to lead a design project from scratch, I'm eager to develop my skills in this area. In my previous role, I was always keen to study schematics and learn about different design approaches from more experienced technicians.
It shows you're proactive and hungry for knowledge,
Yeah.
which is always a good thing.
Yes.
And speaking of knowledge,
Right.
this feels like a good time to circle back to RoleCatcher.
Yes.
How can this tool help fine-tune those answers and boost confidence before the interview?
Think of RoleCatcher as your AI-powered interview coach.
Okay.
It goes beyond generic advice and provides personalized feedback based on the specific job description.
Okay.
For example, you can use RoleCatcher to practice your answers to common interview questions, just like we've been discussing today.
And it's not just about what you say.
Right.
It's about how you say it. Right.
Yeah.
I bet those pre-interview jitters can really impact your delivery.
Exactly. That's where RoleCatcher's AI-powered video practice feature comes in.
Oh, okay.
You can record yourself answering questions just like you would in a real interview.
Mm-hmm.
Then, RoleCatcher analyzes your responses for clarity, conciseness,
Okay.
and even your body language, providing you with actionable feedback to improve your delivery.
It's like having a personal coach analyzing your every move,
Right.
but without the awkward eye contact.
Exactly.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
the more you practice with RoleCatcher, the more confident and prepared you'll feel walking into that interview.
Remember, confidence is key. And it comes from knowing your stuff, anticipating those tough questions, and practicing your answers until they feel natural and compelling.
You've got this.
That's right.
Go out there and show them what you're made of.
Absolutely.
And hey, even if things don't go perfectly, remember, every interview is a learning experience.
That's right. Each interview helps you grow and refine your approach, making you even more prepared for the next opportunity.
And who knows, with the right preparation and a little help from RoleCatcher, that dream fluid power technician job could be just around the corner.
I hope so.
That's it for today's deep dive. We hope this episode has equipped you with the knowledge and confidence to ace that interview and take your fluid power career to the next level. Good luck.